Hi, Julie Jones from SSB Performance, Smarter, Stronger, Better Mindset Training here with this week's Mindset Made Simple Tip of the Week brought to you by Game Day Sportswear. This week we're talking about backyard games, focus, performance, and making a plan. I know that you're a competitor. You're a coach. You're involved in athletics in one way or another, and I'm a competitor too. I have backed it down quite a bit as I've aged, but I will tell you this, that I win in my backyard a lot. And you're probably thinking, oh sure, you have a 10-year-old, you win in the backyard. Well, if you listened or watched or read tip number 106, you know that that ship has sailed in the pool. I do not win in the pool against my son. In the backyard, maybe still a little, but that's not what I'm talking about. We play a game with friends of ours named Kubb. The game is called Kubb. Look it up if you haven't heard it. Kubb, great game, lots of fun, lots of laughs. It's kept us sane through COVID, and we really, really enjoy the competition. But I win a lot, or maybe I should be more specific. My partner in Kubb, Annette, and I win, and we win pretty much every time we play. That brings out craziness in our opponents. And we don't like to rub it in too much because these are the people that we live with. But when we win, there's lots of eye rolling, there's distractions, there's craziness going on the other side, there's taunting and trash talk and all that kind of stuff. Just like the environments that we play in the games that we really compete in, the games that really matter, the games that some of us get paid to win. But here's the problem. Those distractions pale in comparison to the distractions that go on inside of us. Almost every game is the same, or every performance is the same if you really think about it. There's a human, there's a goal, there's a human that is trained to do the physical things necessary to reach the goal, and then the human has a brain that is trained to get distracted just in case that tiger jumps out of the bush as we're hunting and gathering, which we do oh so often anymore. But our brains are trained to be distracted. We want to make sure it's trained to keep us safe. So all these distractions outside of us pull us away from our task, and even worse, the distractions inside of us pull us away from using our talent. Not that Annette and I are talented, any more talented than Michelle and Chris are at Kubb. We still win, right? It's not about talent necessarily. It's about our bodies being able to do what is expected of us to be able to win the game or play the game in general. So the question is, how do we use our training without getting in our own way? How do we let the physical part of reaching the goal excel despite that mental part, that brain that is distracted? Well, this may sound absolutely crazy, but even in this game, when I'm getting ready to knock down with my dowel rod, you take a dowel rod and you throw and you hit at these Kubbs that are down at the other end of the court. When I do that, I visualize prior to my first shot. Notice I say my first shot only. Because what happens if I miss my first shot, then I'm usually talking about why I missed my first shot. I'm laughing at the dorks at the other end of the thing. I'm thinking about the adjustments I need to make. And then I sometimes miss the second shot because I didn't prepare for the second shot. Now, visualizing and taking a breath and doing what I do prior to that first shot does not ensure that I'm going to knock down the Kubb. What it does do is it gets me focused on what I'm trying to do. I'm eliminating everything else around. I'm eliminating everything that's going on in here, all the thoughts that distract me from the task at hand. If I don't do that, I'm thinking about all these other things. I rush myself. Right? I think about what do I need to swing my arm back. I need to throw it higher. I need to throw it to the side more. I need to change and go try another one because I can't get that one right now. All these thoughts are not helpful to me knocking down, taking the dowel rod and simply tossing it with the same foot forward and all that stuff to be successful. So, what I found in my backyard laboratory is that when I follow my process, I have much better chance of being successful. But that is really hard, and it takes practice. If we are not focused on what we are trying to do, we are not going to do what we need to do. It's that simple. I can't tell you what the percentage difference is, but I know this. If I take a breath, if I pause, if I think about what I want to do as opposed to what I don't want to do, or what happens if I don't make this, or I did this the last time so I should probably adjust it a little bit here. Even physical adjustments, thinking about that at the time of action is not productive. There's a time and a place for that. When I talk to my pitchers, we talk about coaching ourselves outside the circle, and then when we get into the circle, we are now pitchers. We are not coaches anymore. We are trained to act. So the bottom line is this. What is your plan? What is your plan? Because here is the fact. When pressure arises, we do not rise to the occasion. We do not rise to face the pressure. We fall back on the habits that we have. If my habit is to walk up to the line, take a deep breath, visualize my arm swinging back, visualize the dowel rod flipping through the air and knocking down the cube, and then taking a deep breath and going and taking my step and throwing, just like I've done a million other times, if I follow that process every single time, I am going to be more successful. Why? Because I'm more consistent. I am more focused. I am present. I'm not thinking about the 50 that I missed before, and I'm not thinking if I miss this, we're going to give them a chance, the losers, the crazy losers on the other side, give them a chance to get back into the game. And we don't want that to happen because we have to make sure that we win, because that's what we do. We win. Annette and I are the winners. Just want to make that very clear. But in all seriousness, it is that simple. This does not mean that we are going to be world champion cube players. In fact, we don't practice. We are not great at this game. It's something that we love to do. But this game is exactly the same as other games that we play. Our minds get distracted the same way. We start to talk differently to ourselves when things go right and when things go wrong. We have distractors in the environment. We have distractors inside of us, whatever those might be. And we have to learn to manage them. And the best way to manage them is with a process and a plan. It's not about thinking. It's about planning ahead and then practicing that plan so that it is what we do. It's our ritual. It's our routine. It gets us comfortable. It keeps us in check. It paces us when the pace of games get faster or whatever happens on the outside. We don't succumb to that pressure of the environment. We have a process. We don't control whether the dowel rod hits the cube. We control what we do before we throw it and as we're throwing it. And that's it. Once it's out of our hand, it's out of our hand. If we're thinking about the outcome, we are not thinking about the process. It's that simple. So my question is to you, what backyard game can you practice your processes in? My process in cube is very different than my process was at the plate as a player, clearly. Two different skills, but they are structured in the same way. Encourage your athletes to have a plan. Encourage them to follow their process, because then when pressure comes, they will be ready. Does it mean they're going to be successful? Not necessarily. What it does mean is that they are giving themselves the best chance to perform at their peak. If you'd like to see other tips about focus, go to ssbperformance.com/blog or check out SSB Performance on YouTube. Subscribe while you're there. As the young kids say, click below to subscribe. Love to have you as a follower on the website or on YouTube. In the meantime, have a great week. Keep your focus. Keep winning in your backyard. It makes for a lot of fun. Have a great week.